Hello and welcome to one of the first videos where I'm going to be trying to help people do something as opposed to just compiling a bunch of random game footage together into clips. So today we're looking to install a Forge mod pack onto a Minecraft server host. It's not like hosting it locally on your own computer or anything, but externally to where you're using like a console to access the server. So the first thing you're going to want to do is just go ahead and get yourself a server somewhere. Personally, I really like Dedicated MC. I'm a big, huge fan of theirs. I use them almost every time I'm running a server now. They've just got powerful servers. I've never had a problem with their hosting. Pretty good rates as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and throw that recommendation out there, But I've already got a server here, so I'm just going to go ahead and roll with this one. I went ahead and cleared everything off of it, so we had a fresh start to go ahead and look at what we're working with today. So you're going to want to go ahead and navigate to whatever mod pack you have installed. We're going to be using Valhelsia 3. You can see it right here. I'm going to go ahead and open up the profile. You can see the Minecraft version of 1.16 there. You're going to want to download the server pack. This is what we're looking for. We're going to need this to get our server up and running. So just go ahead and save that wherever it's, findable for you. All right, we gotta wait for the download to finish here. All right, so I'm gonna open up the archive here, drag it over. There it is. There's all our files, blah, 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 blah. It's a fresh server right there. I'm gonna pop a new folder up on the desktop and name it something dumb, like new Val 3 server, or I don't know, Minecraft Val 3 server, something easy, and then just extract everything into there. Okay, so we have everything we need for a server here. This is the Forge file right here that's going to run everything, but you're going to see it has the installer tag. So this is actually an installer for the server, right? If you tried to run this through your console, like on your server, you wouldn't be able to, because it requires a GUI and your servers are headless. But that's like a whole we don't want to get into it, right? First thing we're going to do here before we run the server is pop a look at the server properties page, because this is where we're going to customize everything that we want our server to do. Like as far as the difficulty, we're going to change it to hard, and you're going to want to look up what these things do and how you want to change them. I'll just look at a couple of the important ones and kind of explain them. There's the game mode survival. Obviously we want structures on. The level name right here, this is what it's going to save your server files under inside of the directories. So you'll see a folder named Hatu Dagu World, and that's where all of the server files related to this world will be at. Next is going to be the seed, and that's what it's going to use to generate the world, obviously. It's one of everyone's favorite things about Minecraft, picking a funny seed. We're just going with Hatu Dagu Land. Just easy on this. Some of these things are pretty self-explanatory. This one's fun. Message of the day. Obviously we can do some fun things with this, but I'm just going to colorize a pretty basic message. So we're going to look up the color codes for the message of the day here. So we'll just do a pretty basic thing. Grab a couple of colors, smash them together with some words. Let's try the dark cyan. I think I'll do like some tildes around the message. We'll put the color code down, and then what text we want. No spaces in there, boom, 2 of them, because we're gonna separate, or we're gonna border our text in those. I'm gonna write Hatu Dagu in orange, so I grab the orange code. We'll put a space after the tildes here, because we want a space in between those and Hatu Dagu, right? So that'll all be orange there, and then a space after. And we'll do land in dark green. there's our green code with land. So this should spell tilde tilde space hatu dogu land space tilde tilde in our selected colors when the server starts. Boom. All right, so we don't need this anymore, but it's neat. If you like to get into that stuff, you can do some funky things with it. Online mode to true, because this is just gonna keep people that don't have legit copies of the game out, right? Hackers and such. PvP true always. What kind of server doesn't have PvP on it? Even if you're accidentally killing people, like, oh no, dude, that's just part of the game, right? Okay. You can like force, you don't have to force people, but you can suggest resource packs here. Like they can give them the choice to download it or not. I never mess with it personally. It's not that hard to find a resource pack. I might make like videos on that, but we'll see. Maybe shaders too. Most of this stuff you don't really need to mess with if you're running it through the server console. Spawn protection, obviously that's going to set the number of blocks around spawn that you can't take damage in. The view distance is really important for modded servers. If you're playing vanilla, you could probably leave this one whatever the hell you want. Leave it huge, little, whatever. On a modded server like this, it's going to like exponentially increase the stress on the server. So I like to leave it around 10 and even bring it down if we've got a lot of people on the server. But you can play with that as necessary. You know, it's not something that's you can't change once you've already got the server going. Now we're starting it up and you're gonna see it's actually downloading and installing a bunch of files. I'm just gonna go ahead and speed through this part here. So at this point I kind of realized that it's done with the installation and it's trying to actually start the server because it's asking me to agree to the EULA. So you could actually upload it through the FTP at this point and start the server. But I'm going to actually run it one more time, let the server files generate on my computer, and then upload them all. Which, if you don't have the bandwidth or you don't want to upload it, you can, like I said, you can always just upload it at this point and then start the server through the console that way. So what we're looking for and how we know the server is just about done loading is how we're going to see it saying preparing spawn area. And that's right before you'll be able to find it when you're searching for it, like through the browser. I'm actually going to go throw a couple of extra mods in here real quick because these are like optional things, but they're pretty easy to just drop in there. And, you know, I'm a huge VR nerd, so having it on the server side won't hurt. And also the Chunk Pregenerator, because this is going to help save a lot of server lag during World Gen, which is going to be, if you have a lot of players on the server, especially at the start, or pretty much at all, like that, if they're exploring and stuff, it's just going to really stress the server. So pre-genning the world is going to save a lot of that lag. You're going to want to grab that mod as well. You're just going to want to, again, save these somewhere they're easily findable. And Vivecraft, because I'm a huge VR nerd. You got to make sure you're grabbing the right version of this because there's several different versions and the chart can be slightly confusing because of the different versions, but we're going to make sure we grab the 1.16 for Forge for this mod pack. Okay, so now to get these into the mod pack, we're just going to open the mods folder in the root directory of the server here. And then we just drag and drop them in. They are good to go. So now our server is ready to get uploaded through the FTP client to the actual server host now. For that, I like to use a program called FileZilla. You don't have to. Most of these server hosts will have like an in-browser FTP that you can use, and FileZilla is really easy. It's super easy to use. But I just recommend it. To find this, we're going to go to our general settings here, and there'll be some kind of like FTP details. See, I'm highlighting them here. And there's that browser FTP I'm talking about. You can just press launch and it'll take you there. We're going to take our server address up to the colon here, because the colon is going to actually be the port number. We'll copy everything up into the colon. Here we go. Here it is. Paste that in host here. And then in username, a lot of times you'll just have the same username as you do to log into your panel or your console. And I actually don't. It gives me a username here, so I'm going to go ahead and change that. And the password is whatever your, server console password is. We click quick connect. You can see we're connected. We're going to double check that. We go to the file management. You can see there's no files. That's why the directory is listing on the right side of the FileZilla there. Oh, one last thing. The server icon. Obviously, you're going to want to change that if you want a custom one. I have one pre-generated already. This is the one they have. You can see it's just the default Valhelsia 3 one. Nothing wrong with that. It's a nice little server icon. Oh, we're gonna show that. We gotta see what size it is. It needs to be 64 by 64 pixels, I believe. Yep, you'll see that here. So any image you want to use has got to be 64 by 64. Got a couple of pictures here. We're gonna scroll. We're gonna find it. There it is. Little hot dog guy. Overwrite this. All right, so I'm just going to select everything in the Minecraft root directory here for our server. And we'll unselect this installer. Don't need that really. Just right click and then click upload. It's going to queue everything up and just start going. One other thing, if you have the bandwidth for this, you can go ahead into the settings here, go to transfers, and you can increase the amount of concurrent transfers at a time. So I might set it 5. That way, if it's like hung up on any larger files, we can just, it'll like download those, but also keep uploading some smaller files as well. And just speed through this now. One thing I forgot about here is that with Chunk Pregenerator, you're going to actually need to install that to your client as well, which is just as simple as just dragging that into your mods folder, wherever your Minecraft Valhelsia 3 install is located. One of the final important things we need to do is make sure that the Forge file we're pointing to is the same one in the server folder. So we just look and make sure and check that the server jar file and the server jar file name are the same. Console and in the directories here. And it all checks out. We've got Java 8 selected because that is what this version of Minecraft uses. So we should basically be good to press the start button at this point. All right, here we are in the console. Server console here. We can go ahead and click start and boot it up. See, it's like similar to basically the same thing as you saw on your desktop, except now there's colors in the chat, which is nice. While this is going, I'm going to go ahead and boot up my client as well, because we're going to need that for Chunk Pregenerator. Again, here you'll see that preparing spawn area, so you know the server's just about done starting. Now I'm just waiting on my client so I can connect to the server. Okay, yeah, we're just gonna add this server over again just to show how it's done. We can name this whatever we want here. It doesn't really matter. The homeland, perfect. And then my server address is hatudogu.deadymc.io. Easy. Boom. You can see the server's up. That's good. There'll be a little red X on this pack because we dropped a couple extra mods on there. That's okay. You can still connect. No biggie. Okay, and we're in the world now. You can see server's up. And to get this pre-gen running, I'm just gonna press I on the keyboard. Once again, that's I on the keyboard by default. Oh, you can see it's grayed out. One last thing before we go, open the console again. You're gonna want to mod yourself. So we're gonna /OP, and my name is Jamfalcon. So it's /OP Jamfalcon. Enter the command. You'll see it says made Jamfalcon a server op. You'll get it in text chat too, right here in the bottom left. Now these commands shouldn't be grayed out. They are not. Poof. We are good to go. Simple pre-gen. These are just like, it's a UI version. You can type these commands into chat as well, but I just find it's easier to click sometimes. All it's doing is just building a chat command and running it for you, which is nice. It's a nice thing. You can set the radius to whatever you want here. Different shapes for the radius and the different dimensions. So we're gonna run this. Boop. There it is. Can't really get to 100 chunks like I would want. You can see it goes up to 25,000. Click it, you see it pop up in the bottom left here, and it's just gonna run constantly. It'll keep an estimate for you. Also just kind of give you a progress update on how long it's been going. And you'll see it runs in the server console as well. So you can actually log off at this point and it'll continue to run in the server. All right, well, that about wraps up our video here. We got the server up and running from scratch. Added a couple extra mods, and we even showed you how to get the chunks preloading, thanks to that useful mod. Hopefully this has been helpful, and I'd like to see y'all come back in the future. Remember to like and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.